What's going on, everybody? Brad and Greta Zude, parenting with the Zudes. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about the dreaded 4-month sleep regression.
Dun, dun, dun.
Said every mother ever, right? I don't know. He was just sleeping and now he doesn't. What do I do?
Yep.
That's like, if we could like narrow down like the single biggest, most number one-est question in the world, it would be about the 4-month sleep regression. So that's what we're going to unpack. We're going to talk about if it's even a real thing or not. Okay. So we've got a lot of juice. This isn't going to be, the typical 4-month sleep regression video. We've got a lot of controversial / really good things to talk about. So you're going to want to watch this one. If you're listening on iTunes, welcome. We're Brad and Greta Zude. Really appreciate you being there, but you can head on over to the YouTube channel where you can see us live and in person and see the beautiful Miss Greta in studio. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are there. We're #1 best-selling parenting authors with 8 children of our own. We've been through the 4-month sleep regression, 7 technical times. Aubrey, so our oldest Annika is just turned 12. Aubrey is 3.8 months.
No, she's almost 3 months.
Oh,
in a couple days, she'll be
right
3
at
months.
3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this question all the time: how to handle the 4-month sleep regression, and it's not even real. Like,
well, okay,
it's not like
there's more to unpack than that.
Get that on the table right now. It's fake news. It's not real.
Okay, so that people will be like, "What?
What? No,
what?
It's not.
No, this really happened to me."
I am up right now listening to this because of the 4-month sleep regression.
Okay. So first I'll talk about what typically happens with a non-sleep trained baby. And so you're going about your life, you're kind of figuring it out, you're figuring out how to get baby to sleep longer stretches at night. You might even have gotten there. I mean, you might have gotten like a 7-8 hour
I just
stretch.
don't understand. Like, my baby will sleep through the night like 1 or 2 nights in a row, and then he just doesn't sleep at all.
Well, right. Well, sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes, you get to that 3-month age and they're actually sleeping through the night, not sleep trained. Okay.
Correct.
And they're like attached to you during the day, or, just kind of sleep on and off here and there, and no real rhyme or reason to anything. And you've never taught them how to put themselves to sleep. You might nurse them to sleep or rock them to sleep and then gently lay them down, and sometimes they will stay asleep. Now, what happens a lot of times that baffles people, because their baby was sleeping at around 4 months, at around 16 weeks, we hit this developmental stage, which is real. I really believe that this is real, where they kind of wake up and they're so much more aware of everything that's going on around them, and everything is just so exciting at this stage.
Very exciting.
Very, very exciting. And it's so exciting that they can't be put to sleep and put down anymore.
Well, they can't be tricked to sleep anymore.
They can't be tricked.
They get smarter. Anymore. Right? So all the sleep crutches and all the things that they used to use to get baby sleeping through the night just simply doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, they're not working anymore. And then even if you do get them down to sleep, they wake up in the middle of these sleep cycles, and they can't bridge that gap anymore. They can't get themselves back to sleep after they've woken up. And so then you're stuck with these multiple wakings night after night, not knowing what to do.
Right. So for clarity, a baby can sleep through the night. So let's say you have a 3-month-old baby. What we're saying is they can sleep through the night, but it doesn't mean that they have the skill of going from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything. Mm-hmm. So the sensation that the mom gets is that, hey, my baby was sleeping. Now my baby's not sleeping. What do I do? Oh, it's a sleep regression, right? So as if you regress from something, it's like I was up here, but now I'm way back down here. And it's not actually a sleep regression.
Well, I like to call it the 4-month developmental
Correct.
change, which it is.
Correct.
Now, on the flip side, So we just talked about non-sleep trained babies, which this can be a big problem for.
Which is 99% of
right. And it will turn
mom out there who's not in our program. Links in description.
Right, and it will turn your world upside down. All of a sudden, like naps too will be an issue. And it's not just night wakings, but it will be naps. And all of your old tricks, they don't work for naps anymore. So a lot of moms find themselves wearing their babies all day long, nursing their babies all day long, and just trying for 20 minutes of sleep here or there.
Right.
To get that first sleep cycle in.
The sleep crutches. So let's define. So we're probably assuming we're using lots of words and we're going fast and we're probably assuming some things.
Yeah.
So a sleep crutch is someone or something that baby requires in order to go to sleep. See, babies are born with the ability to sleep, but they're not born with the ability to put themselves to sleep. That's actually a skill that they must be taught, right? So I talk with hundreds of moms every single week. We do. And when we get to that point, we always ask them, hey, does baby have this skill? And 99 times out of 100, they haven't, which is why they're now awaking. And so they've never regressed from truly knowing how to sleep. They've just regressed from performing the act of sleep. So like I could never have Major League Baseball regression because I never played Major League Baseball. Therefore, I cannot regress down from it. And so if your baby never had that skill, they can't regress from it. So these sleep crutches then, the pacifier, feeding your baby to sleep, rocking your baby to sleep, they don't work anymore because there's a developmental change. Your baby gets smarter. And then what moms tirelessly try to do is that they have to up the sleep crutch, wearing their baby, doing all those things that you said.
Yeah, so some common sleep crutches would be nursing baby to sleep, rocking baby to sleep, wearing baby to sleep, pacifiers if you're using them for the purpose of, just getting your baby to sleep. And we all know too well how the pacifier falls out and then you have to put it back in. Pacifier falls out, put it back in, put it back in.
I'm just going to buy 20 pacifiers and surround them with my baby. Surround them around my baby so that there's always a pacifier an arm's length away so that she could just pop it in.
We've heard that one.
Yeah, we've heard
Not
that
so
one.
much at this age, but So you have that routine, like this is what works and this is what puts my baby to sleep, but then it just stops working because they're just too awake, too aware. They're not in that sleepy newbornish stage anymore.
Right. So most moms come to us and they say, I need to fix the 4-month sleep regression, all that kind of stuff. And we have to slow down and just literally define sleep, right? If you want a sleeping baby, okay, what does that mean? Well, it means that baby can go not only from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything, but in the nighttime, they can actually connect their REM cycles. So we as human beings, we go through, there are a couple hour REM cycles every night, and we go through 4 or 5 REM cycles. And kind of think of the dolphin, right, going in and out of the water. The dolphin kind of swims deep down under the water, kind of like deep sleep, comes up out of the water. That's kind of like light sleep. And then what happens is that baby inside, they can't connect their REM cycle. They get stuck. And then you run in and then, you start feeding them and doing all these things and perpetuating this nasty...
Or babies sleeping right next to you in bed.
Yeah. Training in the negative, as we call it, where you're perpetuating and promoting and propelling what you don't want to have happen. And you're cinching it in tighter and tighter every time you do it. And we have to teach baby the skill.
So I want to talk about what that developmental change looks like if you have taken the time and done the work to actually sleep train your baby before this happens. And
that's an interesting angle.
Yeah. So when you have a baby,
we just don't talk to those people because they're not the ones on our website begging to join our program. Like, take my money, I'll pay you whatever.
Well, I think that's a concern though, that I've heard about this 4-month sleep regression. Is this going to happen to me? Even if I sleep, am I going to have to start all over? So what typically happens, and all babies are different. So I don't want to paint this picture of, well, this is exactly what happens, because all babies are
But it's about the easiest ditch to find yourself in as a mother, especially a new mother with a baby at this point.
Okay. So what usually happens is baby knows the skill of how to put themselves to sleep, how to put themselves back to sleep if they wake up, how to bridge sleep cycles. You can lay them down and they can do it at nap time, at bedtime, any time of the day. Now, when you hit that 16-week, 4-month age and they wake up to their world, typically we just see some regression in naps. And they might go down well, but they might have trouble bridging some of those sleep cycles. So maybe one nap a day, like the afternoon nap, is just like, man, this one's tough. And if you stick it out, if you let nap time be nap time and power through it and let baby figure it out, it usually takes about 2 weeks for them to say, okay, this is how we do it.
It's so funny because it reminds me, we get so many questions. Excuse me. We get so many questions like, how do I keep a baby on a schedule? What do I do? And it's kind of funny because, excuse me, how do you keep a baby on a schedule? Well, how do you keep you on a schedule? If you had a hair appointment at 10 and a dentist appointment at noon and a doctor appointment at 2 o'clock, if you're going to keep on schedule, then from the hair appointment, you need to be to your doctor appointment on time, right? So it's like you need to, Greta said nap time is nap time, right? That's like one of the biggest mantras that we teach inside of our programs is like, you put the baby down for nap and regardless of how they perform, it's nap time, right? That's how we change baby's schedule is we let them do the activity of the time it's time to do the activity.
You have a plan and then you stick to it. And that's how it's really that simple. It is very simple. Now, again, all babies are different and it's not like there's one set schedule for each baby, and awake times need to be tweaked and nap times need to be tweaked and family schedules and all that. So, there is customization for the baby, but there is an overall, you have to have your plan and then you do it, you stick to it. So, but our moms that do sleep train, they rarely see any nighttime sleep affected. And I always think, okay, if I can get a full night's sleep, then I can handle anything during the day. Like I can handle screaming naps if I'm well rested and I'm in my right mind. But if I'm super tired, if I've been up all night, that's really hard to handle.
Well, and so when people come into our program, like we'll get babies sleeping through the night in just a couple nights. Like I'll go, so we guarantee it. And I go as far as to say that like, if it takes longer than a couple nights, like something's wrong, right? Like God designed our bodies, our internal clocks to be adjusted after a couple days, right? I use this as an example all the time, but if we're flying to Hawaii, we get there and it's, midnight and we got to reset our bodies, all this kind of stuff. It can happen in just a couple of days, but naps take, like you said earlier, they can take a week, 10 days, 2 weeks sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To really get good at, because it's harder to sleep during the day. It is harder to get yourself to sleep. So
that's why you should buy blackout curtains and white noise machines to put in there so that baby can sleep.
You might,
joking. That's a joke.
Not necessary.
So that's the actual definition of sleep, connecting the REM cycles and teaching them the skill of going from fully wide awake to fully asleep. And one of the secret sauces that we have inside of our programs, like Greta said, is like, it's not that what to do is difficult or that what to do is even a silver bullet. It's just the emotional and mental support to stick to that plan, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, I know I shouldn't eat carbs and sugar, but what did I do all day today, right? I ate carbs and sugar. And that's the secret sauce, getting that emotional mental support to actually, because it's hard. Like if you're going through the 4-month sleep regression, like, tough. you're at a breaking point, you're worn out. It's by far the most popular age in our program. I mean, we've gotten probably, 500 4-month-old-ish is sleeping through the night.
You're coming up with some really interesting words tonight. I kind of like your vocabulary.
Making it up as I go. But anyways, there are links in the description. If you're going through the 4-month sleep regression, don't just be honest with yourself. And if it's not going well, get help, right? It's the definition of insanity. Don't continue to do what you've always done and expect different results. Anything else about the 4-month sleep regression?
I don't think so.
Is that it? Pretty complete?
It's easy. It's easy when you sleep train.
It's just easy. So head on over to those links in the description. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you're here on YouTube. We're one of the only parenting channels here on YouTube that talks about cool stuff, babies, toddlers, all that kind of good stuff. And you can support the channel simply by clicking a button, and it means the world to us.
I will say, okay, going back for 1 second. Sorry.
I know. That was my golden outro.
I'm sorry. So, if you're at this point where you've never sleep trained your baby and your baby's fussy and crying and awake, I mean, this is the most perfect time to do it, right? Like you're already in chaotic land.
Sure.
Like let's just
can't get any worse.
Right. You're already listening to crying and screaming. Let's just do it. Get it done. Do the sleep training. Buckle in and go.
Absolutely. If you're listening to us on iTunes and still listening, thank you very much. You're a super fan for sticking through the outro. I appreciate it. Drop us a 5-star review. It really would mean the world to us.
Sorry.
And now people are probably long gone at this point, but that's okay. Like I said, for those of you that have stuck around, we appreciate it. Much love. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.